This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. He is also the host of our podcast that's very popular on Ramsey Networks, The Fine Print, where he helps you read the fine print on these companies and ideas that are screwing you over, which is what happens if you don't read the fine print, thus the name. So check it out. And also, of course, Entree Leadership Podcast, which I listened to this morning, George. It was really, really good.
Oh, thank you.
Very good stuff. So check it out. That's all for business and small business, and George is the host of that. We have wonderful, world-class guests on there talking about leadership and business. This is The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. The call is free, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. 888-825-5225. Lillian starts off this hour in San Antonio. Hi, Lillian. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking my call. I have a question about my husband passed away this March, and I received life insurance today. Thank God he worked for a company that really took care of us, but I need to know if we're going to be okay. I do have 5 children who are pretty much adults. I have one 15-year-old son at home. So the life insurance is $954,000. He has a pension of about $280,000, and so they want to know, do I want to defer this pension or do I want to take payment monthly? It will continue to grow at 6% until retirement. So I'm not really sure. He does have about $300,000 in retirement. And so I don't really know what to do. My home is worth about $700,000, but I owe $330,000 on it. So I want your opinion on what to do.
Okay. I'm sorry, hon.
Thank you.
How old was he?
He was only 54.
Oh, just a pup.
Yeah.
How long were y'all married?
31 years. We have, we're about to have our 8th grandchild. So, yeah.
What happened?
He had a heart attack.
Oh my, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Rule number 1, and then we'll back around and work around that rule. Okay.
Okay.
Sharon and I are getting ready to celebrate 40 in about a month, and if we have planned for me to die first, because if she dies first, I'm not going to be able to handle it. So, because I won't be able to breathe, and that's where you are right now. You can't even get a full breath because it's just, you're sane for a few minutes, and then another wave hits you, and then you're insane for a little while, and that's called grief, and that makes you a normal human. And because your heart's broken, because this is like your best friend for 30 years. So, so the rule is try to make as few big decisions as you can until your brain clears a little bit.
Okay.
I do this for a living, and my plan is when in the middle of a major tragedy, major grief situation, I'm going to try not to make big decisions in the middle of that, because our critical thinking skills are just messed up by the fog of pain. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So all of that to say, I try to avoid just, now sometimes people have to, because like they don't, the good news is you got, well over $1 million excess, and so you're fine. You're going to be okay. And then let's just start talking through kind of what your plan is and what you're thinking now, and then let's see how much of it we can put the brakes on. And because if you can do nothing for 6 months and just cry, that'd be like a normal human reaction.
Right.
And you make better decisions 6 months from today than you would today. Do you agree with that?
I agree, yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's just back into it from there, George. Yeah. Now, the pension, they're offering you a lump sum of $280?
They're offering like payments monthly.
Yeah.
And if either that or I'm wait until retirement, it'll continue to grow for 6%.
Oh, okay. But they're not offering you a lump sum.
No, they are not.
The $280,000 you don't have access to.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, here's the rule on that. It's going to die when you die.
It actually won't. It will go to my children. So that's the great part. So that's the great part of that.
How much are the monthly? What's the monthly they're offering you today?
$1,800.
Okay. And do you work outside the home?
Very little.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we need to create an income for you to live on. Agreed?
Right. I agree.
What did he make?
About 120.
Okay. All right. So 1,800 is $20,000 a year. So we're 100,000 short.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm taking the monthly. I'll go ahead and tell you that. Because accruing at 6% is not exciting to me, because you can invest in good mutual funds and do considerably better than that. So even if you didn't use the money, I would take it and dump it into mutual funds.
Okay.
Because I'm moving it from 6 to 10 or 12 at that point. So we're going to do that one.
Do you know your household expenses monthly right now, Lillian?
They're probably at about $3,800.
Okay, so let's call it $50,000 a year you need to live.
How old are you?
Right. I'm 51.
Okay, the $950,000 was life insurance money.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, his $300,000 in retirement, you need to just leave alone. You will be. Are you the beneficiary on that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, you're going to be required to draw down on that at a 10-year rate. So, well, no, I don't know. Spouse is on inherited if spouse is exempted or not.
Some of them they're different. Do you know the terms of it?
No, they're not different. It's either a 10-year drawdown or the spouse has an exemption, one of the two. I'll have to look that up in my cheat sheet notes. But either way.
So if we're taking the life insurance, Dave, are we saying to invest this to create the income for her? Or is she going to need part of it temporarily in order to create an income to live on?
Do you think you're going to keep the house?
So I wanted to keep it for at least 3 years until my son graduates high school.
Okay, good.
The market here is crazy. I can't buy anything for $300,000 in my area.
Right. Okay. Okay, there's two options. We can go with the $950. All right. You can either invest it all and keep the mortgage in place, which is trying to not make big decisions. Okay. Or you can pay off the mortgage and invest $600. Either way, you sit down with a SmartVestor Pro in your area and sit down, and they'll help guide you through that. And they can answer the question on how fast you've got to draw down that retirement, because I'm conflicted here. I can't remember what it is. I got to look it up. The break. It's killing me. But they changed the law about 18 months ago, and I've forgotten it. I've forgotten what they changed it to. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about
So sorry.
This is The Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Okay, time to nerd out for a minute on financial stuff for you nerds because it's driving me nuts. So I did look it up on my cheat sheet and actually looked it up to make sure and all that stuff. So the Secure Act was passed in the beginning of 2020, January of 2020, right before pandemic hit. All right. And the Secure Act was basically a method of the federal government making you less secure and them more secure. Because the idea was simply this. You do not have to draw down on your traditional IRAs or 401ks until it used to be 70.5. It's now 72.5. Okay? And that was pissing them off. They don't like that because they want their tax money now because they're like, that's how they are, okay? So they changed the law, and it says, and that was true on an inherited IRA. So I could name my daughter or son or both on my 401k as a beneficiary. It would roll to them in an inherited IRA, and then they didn't have to draw it off. And so what happened is you could just roll it and never get drawn on it. It would just build up if you never used the money. But if you use the money, there's no penalty, but there's taxes on it if you draw an inherited IRA off early. Okay, so it's taxed at your rate personally. If your dad left you an IRA or 401k, then you use the money, you get taxed on it, but there's no penalty. But you didn't have to draw it. Now, according to the Secure Act, you have to draw it down in 10 years. So 300k is $30,000 a year. And they get their taxes 1/10 for 30 years. That was the 10-year thing we were referring to with that last caller. So she inherited as a spouse her husband's 401k, which was $300,000. And what I was trying to remember was I thought there was a spousal exception, and there is. I was right. Okay, so she does not have to draw it down in 10 years because she's a spouse. If it was left to the kids, they would have. Spouse does not have to draw it down until the spouse hits 72.5, and then they have what's called RMD, required minimum distributions, so that you begin to draw down your IRA and they get their freaking taxes. So probably more information than any of you really wanted, but I just wanted to act like I actually thought I knew something.
That's
and
good.
I sort of knew it and I didn't know it. And well, such is life on live radio.
The cheat sheet came in handy.
Well,
That's
we try to, when we don't know, just like be real and say, I don't know. And then, but I kind of knew, but I wasn't sure.
You had a feeling, as Sharon might say.
Oh, there
we
you
go.
Meaning I had read it and retained it, but I couldn't recall it. Oh, there you go. All right. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Alaya is with us, or Ilya. Ilya is with us. I'm going to try and mess that up. In Chicago. Is it Ilya?
Yes, sir. You got it right. Thank you.
Thank you. Took me about 3 tries. How can I help?
So I have a question, basically kind of what you guys would do in my situation. I just got a brand new job, literally starting second week right now.
Good for you.
My wife, thank you. My wife and I have 2 cars, a 2011 Camry with 123,000 miles that we own outright, and a 2020 RAV4 that we currently lease. It's a 3-year lease. We're halfway through it right now. And with this new job, I get a company car.
Oh.
And I'm just trying to figure out that I can use for personal use as well. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, what is the best course of action? I know the car market's crazy right now, so I can probably sell the Camry for the most I can, like, ever get for it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can, I don't even know if it's possible to get out of a lease. Like, how do I go about that, and is that even possible?
You have any money?
Yes.
How much?
Liquid cash, we have about $25,000.
Okay, good. Well, you can just pay off the RAV. You're buying the lease out early, and you're at the end of the lease, a closed-end lease, there's a buyout amount, right?
Yeah.
Amount you can buy the car for. It's that plus some of your lease payment is what it'll be. You can call them for an early buyout number, which is like a payoff on a loan.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's and you've got enough money to pay it off.
Okay.
Pay it. How much other debt have you got?
So yeah, that's the thing. We have about $15,000 in student loan debt. The reason we haven't paid it off yet is because we just got married in December, and I was in the job market, and I finally got this job, and we were waiting until I started, and kind of now we're trying to get everything aligned now.
Cool.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't sell the Camry because it's not going to free up a payment, and then you're going to have to turn around and go get another car on top of that. But I like getting rid of the lease.
Well, they got a company car, though. They only need one car.
Oh, you only need one car for the whole family.
He's got a company car, and then either keep the RAV or keep the Camry.
Yeah.
So I was going to say keep the RAV and pay it off.
Yeah, and then sell the Camry.
Yeah, sell the Camry, and then let's throw the rest of it the student loan.
Yeah.
So you got 25, and you said you're 3 years in. I don't know. What's
halfway into
that
the lease.
RAV4 worth, you think?
Oh, man, I don't even know. I'm
a pretty penny in today's market, that's for sure.
I was saying,
how many of them is what I was asking? How many pretty pennies?
We pay $300 a month for the RAV right now.
All right. Let's pretend, okay? I'll just make up a number. Let's say $15,000 buys that lease out. I'm probably not that far off, okay? You with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you own the RAV, and you got $10,000 in the bank, and you sell the Camry for $5,000. You got $15,000 in the bank. Oh, now we're going to pay off the student loan. Wait, we're broke. Yeah, that's a good idea because you were already broke. Now we just admitted it, and now you're going to use a new job to build up your emergency fund, and you're 100% debt-free. Am I right?
Yep.
So that's the kind of game plan I want to execute here if I can. I don't know if you're going to – I don't know what the payoff is on that RAV, but what I would do is pay off the RAV, sell the Camry, pay all of it towards the student loan but $1,000, and you're on baby step 2 working on your student loan. What's the new job pay?
Like household income for both of us, base is about 115, and not including side hustles and like commission and bonuses, we're about like 130, 140.
So at the latest by Halloween, you're 100% debt free.
Okay.
You see how we're doing this, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
No screwing around. And I don't want to hear about going on some vacation while you got a student loan staring you in the face.
Yes, sir.
You just went to work, so by God, go to work.
Yes, sir. I hear you.
That RAV4 is worth about $35,000-$40,000, by the way.
Okay, all right. But yeah, that's a lot of pretty pennies.
Yeah.
So I wonder if I don't. Did he tell us the name? He gave you the year?
It was 2020.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty new.
This is 22. It's not going to be a 15 payoff then. It's going to be a 2022 somewhere in there probably to buy that lease out. Because he's halfway through a 3-year lease. Yeah. So the buyout and the lease had to do with old used car numbers before the market went nuts. So could sell it.
And make a profit at this point.
They're making enough money to just clean this mess up by Halloween either way.
Yeah.
So get her done.
If you like the RAV4, keep the RAV4.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you like the RAV4 better than a 2011 Camry.
Yeah. That thing will run forever. It's only got 120,000 miles on it.
It's not a bad hoopty, but it's a hoopty, okay?
If you're going to choose your
guy's making 110, he's cleaning up his mess. They don't have to, because if they get rid of it and they're driving a hoopty, you know what's going to happen this time next year? They're buying another car for cash anyway.
Back to where they started.
Might as well just keep the good car and work your way through it. And that's the way I'm looking at it. But, I mean, you can argue with me if you want.
I'm not going to dare do that. Not here. We'll do that off air.
Why not?
Because I can't win, Dave. It's not fun for me.
Come on, George. Of course it's fun. And of course you could win. We'll let you win sometimes.
Thank you. But if you let me win, did I really win? That's the question.
Oh.
But the thing with these car leases, Dave, a lot of people are probably in one and thinking, should I get out? How do you know the right way to get out of a lease? Is it always early buyout amount and save up the cash?
The car lease is the worst buy in all of automotive. And here's why. When you put in the value of the car and you look at what you're paying on it, your cost of capital on average in a car lease is 14.2%.
Wow.
So you're borrowing money at 14% interest. Only they don't disclose that it's interest because it's not technically interest. You're technically renting the car. So there's no truth in lending law because there's not technically any lending. Point being, real good time to get out of a car is now. And if you can get rid of that lease by selling that puppy in this up market, that'd be a real good plan because you're getting fleeced in your lease. This is The Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. It's event week, you guys. Orlando, I hope you're ready, because I'll tell you, a couple weeks ago, Vegas, they brought the house down. In Orlando, we got 26 tickets left, so we got over 3,000 folks coming. Going to be a sellout easily here in the next hour or so. Jump in and get your tickets quick. Rachel Cruz, George Camel, my co-host today, and I will be doing the event with Dr. John Deloney and Ken Coleman. They will be hosting a free bonus session, John and Ken will, about work and relationships before we kick off the main sessions, and then George and Rachel and I will be there along with those guys. As the event ends on Thursday evening, May the 19th, a couple days from now, we'll be signing books and taking photos and all that kind of good stuff after the event, and so... yeah, come on out, guys. It's going to be great. Human beings should be around other human beings.
That was my favorite part, was just shaking hands and meeting people, hearing their stories. It just gave me fuel in the tank.
Well, and I'm just, I'm like, nah, because people were like, we'll never shake hands again. There's a new normal. Well, by God, I am. I might even hug you, so be careful.
Wow.
It's just unbelievable.
I'm not signing up for that. I can't make that promise quite yet. We'll start with a handshake. We'll take it from there. We'll see how things go. But it's a fun event. We had a great time in Vegas, and if you're in the Orlando area, or even it's worth the flight. People have been traveling from all over the country to join us.
They have. I mean, the Vegas, had a whole bunch of Californians there. Of course, Los Angeles thinks Las Vegas is a suburb. So, but anyway, sort of is. I mean, it's right there. But anyway. Thanks for coming, guys. And Orlando, thank you for your turnout. Again, there's a couple tickets left at RamseySolutions.com/events. Phoenix is half sold out for November the 1st. Or September the 13th. Sacramento is 3/4 sold out for November the 1st. Minneapolis, 3/4 sold out. I mean, there's just a few hundred tickets left for these events in the fall already. And don't call me whining because you didn't buy your tickets, because I've been telling you about it. So get your tickets. We'll be in San Antonio November 15th, and we would love to have you. They're $25. If you want a 4-pack, we have 4-packs starting as low as $60 and going up from there. So check it out, guys, and get your tickets as soon as you can. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. And you get free samples, free shipping, new promos all the time. Always use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Kyle in Tampa. With gas being so expensive right now, I'm looking into selling my Jeep and getting a Tesla. My wife and I are going way over budget on gas, and it seems like a good time to get an electric vehicle, even with the car market the way it is. She thinks it's a bad idea to finance a car, but I think it'll save us money in the long run. Who wins the argument? Oh, Dave loves this question. I can see the fumes coming out of your head right now for 1,000
reasons. There's just so
reasons.
many things wrong about his decision. A, it's a Tesla. B, their payments.
Dave, I got to
C,
comment.
you thought it was going to be cheaper because you have to pay the light bill, Bubba, to plug in your little car.
This is true. I got a comment yesterday on Instagram. A guy said, I don't trust a man who drives an electric vehicle.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's new for me. Now, I understand respect, but trust. I'm untrustworthy because my car doesn't have an engine like yours, Dave.
Ooh.
But that's besides the point. Just venting.
I mean, you and Rachel both of you are driving these batteries now. I mean, it's...
And you're paying for our gas thanks to the chargers out front. So.
No, that just pisses me off because the people that work here that drive gasoline vehicles don't get free fuel. So why is it that the landlord is obligated to put out a little plugging station for you people?
I didn't decide that. You did.
Well, some like codes or something. Like I don't know, or maybe wait, I know what it was. Rachel's husband built the building. This is a conspiracy.
He's in cahoots.
He
That's
put
right.
those plugs out there so he could end up, because he knew she was going to end up buying one of those dadgum things.
Winston, if you're listening, be on the watch.
That's what it is.
Your father-in-law is mad.
That's what it is. Now I figured it out. I see their scheme.
Well, back to Kyle's question. Here's the thing. I took a question like this similarly the other day.
Okay.
The young guy,
Yeah.
he's single, and he said, well, I'm in Canada. The petrol is very expensive. I'm just going to go finance a $60,000 Tesla to save money. Because that makes sense.
When you say that coming out of your mouth, does that not blow your brains out?
It hurts,
I mean, come on.
It hurts my brain. So
I'm going to go finance $60,000 to save money.
How do you calculate the ROI, the break-even on a situation like this? Obviously, the financing aside.
How do you know what you actually pay to fill up the stupid thing? Do you know?
I've done the math on it.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah, at home it's cheaper. Now, if you're charging out in public, it's a little more expensive. But it's like 13 cents a kilowatt, and so you multiply that by how many kilowatts your battery is.
Okay, so what does it take to
About
drive the
$6.
car for a week?
For a week, depending on your driving.
I know, but I mean, you're driving back and forth to work here.
Yeah,
I know where you live.
I would say about maybe 10, 15, 20 bucks.
Okay.
For me.
So it's substantially less than my gas.
Yes.
So my gas might be $30 in that same period of time. I mean, we live about the same distance from the
Yes.
office. So neither one of us drive that far. Okay. So if that was the case, so you're saving $20. How long does it take to get $60,000 saving $20?
Many, many years. Maybe retirement.
Longer than you're going to live, okay? Oh my God, that's stupid.
So the excuse of, well, I'm doing it to save on gas, that just doesn't cut it.
Well, you are saving on gas, but you're not saving on money.
Well, to them, it's the same thing at this point.
It's not the same thing. I mean, because, it's the same thing. When I first started teaching this stuff 1,000 years ago, I had a guy in the Financial Peace University class, and he drove 1 mile to work. He was an 18-wheeler driver. He drove over the road. So he would drive 1 mile to work, park his truck, get into the 18-wheeler, drive for a week over the road, come home, get back in his pickup, and drive 1 mile home.
Wow.
He had an awesome, perfect, cherry little 1978 pickup. It was a kind of a classic. It was beautiful, perfect. There wasn't a ding on the thing. Comes in and goes, sold my truck. Going, why'd you sell your truck? He goes, I wanted a new one. The gas mileage was killing me. I'm going, dude, you drive 2 miles a week. The gas mileage can't kill you. How are you you're gonna break even on that new one by driving it to the moon and back, maybe. Oh my gosh. Wow. The break-even analysis is what it's called, people. And how long does it take you to get your money back with the money saved? That's a break-even analysis. And the point is, it's going to take longer than you live. No, you don't finance a Tesla to save money. That's dumber than a rock.
This happens a lot in the
Was I
solar
unclear?
panel world. You get these all the time with solar panels. It's the same idea. Hey, Dave, we're going to get solar panels to save on electricity. It's going to cost $50,000 to finance them.
Yeah, but they don't cost $50,000 anymore. But I mean, they actually do have about a 7-year break even if you're in a good sun area and an expensive electric market.
And you pay cash for them.
And you pay cash for them. They got about a 6 or 7 year break even, which makes them, okay. But you're not going to break even on Tesla while you're alive, okay? So, and you're a Tesla driver. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Come on, George.
Here we go. Let's not make it personal.
Come
Dave.
on, George.
Here's my question. Anytime someone says,
well, you and
Here's
Rachel,
the thing
what
with
the guy
electric
say?
cars.
He doesn't trust a guy that drives a battery?
He doesn't trust a guy who doesn't have a car with an engine in it. That's his vibe. So it sounds
I've
like
had
he
cars
has some
in the
personal
backyard
problems.
up on blocks that didn't have an engine in it. Does that count?
I don't know that I trust you, at least not with my car. Oh, man.
That's cold. I mean, I like making fun of y'all, but they're actually very cool cars. They're really fast.
They are.
And they scare me because they're too quiet.
Oh, so it's a fear.
Well,
it's fear, Dave.
That's it. It's a latent fear.
You think it's witchcraft.
The fear is coming out as anger.
How is the car moving without
It's
gasoline?
witchcraft. It's witchcraft. That's what it is.
My mom felt the same way about Harry Potter when it came out.
Yeah,
so
well, she was right about that too. But the But no, I drove one of the things, and it's because all of a sudden you're going 60 and you don't even know it because there's nothing telling you.
It's just a G-force.
There's no, other than your brains are flying out the back of your head. Oh my gosh. And it's just, because I'm used to like hearing a muffler when I'm going fast or something kick in, right? I want to hear, there's audio feedback that says to your brain, you are now going fast.
The louder it is, the better. That's the redneck way.
And when there's no audio telling you or you are now going fast, it scared the crap out of me. Because I was like, dadgum, I'm in a neighborhood here. I'm about to break the sound barrier or something right here in the neighborhood.
Well, don't be scared, Dave.
I'm
You're safe with me and Rachel.
So it's not that I don't trust you people. It's I'm scared of you.
Thank you for admitting it. Dave
really
is
now what it comes
by
down
me.
to. I'm scared of you, George.
It took me getting
one of your life goals has now been accomplished. This is the Ramsey Show. To wrap up all that carrying on, whether it's electric or whether it's gas, you cannot afford to buy a more expensive car to save on the fuel. The break-even analysis almost never works because the car is so much more expensive than the fuel. So you're moving from a $3,000 or a $5,000 or a $10,000 car to a $30,000 or a $50,000 or $60,000 car. That spread, you're not going to recoup it in fuel savings of any kind, electric or gas. Period. And you're certainly not going to be able to justify the payment under any freaking circumstance. So just don't do it. There's very, very few exceptions to that rule. Now, if you're driving a $8,000 pickup that gets 4 miles to the gallon and you trade it for an $8,000 Honda Accord, yeah, because you didn't spend any more money and you don't have payments, then you would save money on your gas bill. But what happens is that the human brain melts down and says to you, you're allowed to buy a newer car with payments, and that tells you that your brain is not working. Okay.
It's amazing how our brains can justify those terrible decisions because we go, well, on paper, I'm going to save a lot of money.
Yeah, I'll help you with the paper. Emily is in St. Louis. Hi, Emily. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
Well, first I wanted to say you don't get enough credit for your amazing comedic timing. So if you get sick of this whole radio thing, you could always do stand-up instead.
Oh, bless your heart.
I'm here for that Netflix special.
How can we help?
So I'm about to jump up in rent from $900 to almost double that at $1,600 a month. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to make sure I'm not making a big mistake because I do have a relatively low income. I net about $2,500 a month. So the reason why I do think that it might be okay for me to do that is I am very fortunate to have a trust fund, and I do draw $700 a month from that, and then it is always just there in the background. I try not to even think about that it exists because I want to save that for my retirement, but it is there.
What do you do for a living?
Well, luckily it's George today instead of John because I'm in doggy daycare. I heard you guys arguing about that recently.
Okay. You do doggy daycare. Yeah, I'm not here with
yes.
I missed that discussion. Okay. I can only imagine. Okay. But you're not making much money.
Correct.
So what is your long-term career plan?
Well, I'm 34, and for a long time I really didn't have a career plan because I had a very difficult multi-year struggle with crippling anxiety and depression. And it got started turning around when I actually started working in doggy daycare, it changed my entire life. And now I'm like, I used to be miserable. It was very hard for me to get out of bed in the morning. And now I'm just like one of the happiest people I know. I have the pandemic. Actually, I'm an introvert, and it's kind of I feel bad saying that the pandemic really was great for my mental health, because I had this 3-month period where I just got as much alone time as I needed without neglecting my friends or family or my job. But it really just started me on this big upward trajectory of healing. And so now I do feel like maybe I could, without jeopardizing my mental health, start looking in other directions. Unfortunately, the other direction I want to look in is screenwriting. That's my degree is in film. Mm-hmm. And obviously that.
I think you can start that now. I think you can start that now while you're doing this, and I think you need to start doing.
I actually have them.
And I think you need to start doing some freelance writing also to start making some extra money right now. Because, honey, I really love the doggy daycare has helped with your anxiety. I love all that. I think that's fun, and I like that part of your story. What I don't like is that you're trading it for another kind of anxiety called financial anxiety, because you don't make any money. And you cannot do rent that is 50% of your income and prosper. Right. You're not going to prosper. So, no, the $1,600 rent with a $3,200 income, including your trust money, that's 50% of your income. You're going to struggle. And I would stay with the 900 for a while. So
I've been at the 900 for 4 years, actually, and it's a teeny tiny apartment, about 275 square feet.
Doesn't matter. And, you can't afford it.
Okay. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You can't afford to go to 50%. It's just, it's like, I'm driving an old car, but I'd really like a brand new car. Well, you can't afford it. You don't have any money. So that's kind of where this is, and it's cold, but it's a math thing. It's not an emotion thing. Right. Now, what I do want you to do is I do want you to have some hope to move into a better place, but that hope is tied to changing your income. That's why I was asking you those other questions.
Yeah, the thing, Emily, I want you to think about is your long-term future, not just what's going to happen next year, but the next 10 years. Where do I want to be? Do I want to be a homeowner because rent's going to keep going up? And so when you think about it that way, 50% of your take-home pay being eaten up by your rent means you're not going to be able to save up for that down payment. You're not going to be able to invest 15% and retire with dignity. So I want you to think longer term and make decisions based on that.
So the good news is there are plenty of ways for folks that are introverts to make a lot of money. It does not require that you put yourself in a highly, in a crowded room, every day, all day to make a living. I wouldn't recommend that. I'm not proposing that to you, but I do want you to say, okay, what can I do that gives me the same kind of peace that what I'm currently doing does and makes 3 times more? And I don't know what that is exactly. It could be in the writing area. It could be, the good news is that you can do a lot of writing now from home. And then you move up into a little better place, and then you start saving for a house. But we got to get your income up long term, or you're going to be trading one kind of anxiety for another. That's what's going to end up happening. And no, I cannot. I'm going to beg you not to do the $1,600 in rent until you do something to change your income. Hold on. We're going to have the team pick up and send you a copy of Ken Coleman's book, From Paycheck to Purpose, and also the career assessment as well. The career assessment, and that'll help you maybe determine some ideas of some things you could work on that would be beneficial. The good news in our current world, George, is that there's so many jobs available. There's such a shortage of labor in almost every area that she can probably find something that is not a high-stress, high anxiety situation. That
every headline is there's a shortage of pizza delivery drivers now.
Yeah.
And so you can go make really good money, $25 an hour delivering pizzas.
She can actually make more than she's making now doing that.
And doesn't have to be forever. People think, well, I don't want to do that. Well, I'm asking you to do it for a year to clean your financial mess up.
Yeah. And we saw an article come out yesterday. Every Pizza Hut, Domino's, they're all they're seeing drop in sales, and their revenues are down, not because people don't want pizzas, but because they don't have any drivers to deliver them. And when delivery is down, sales are down, and so all of them stock is hurting. And because their profits are down because they're not delivering pizzas. They can't get drivers, and so there is a shortage. And so this is what Biden Bucks did. When you pay people not to work, here's how this works. When you pay people not to work, guess what they do?
They don't work.
They don't work. How's that work?
Is that called cause and effect? That's scientific.
Yeah. See, economics. It's a tricky little business, this econ thing. Pay people not to work, and then they won't work. Create a shortage of anything, and the price goes up.
Supply and demand.
People. So guess what your inflation is caused by? Labor cost. Gone through the roof. You can't get people to work. This is the Ramsey Show.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from the Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to the Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones as we take calls about your building wealth, about doing work that you love, and about creating actual amazing relationships. The phone number is 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Sergi is with us to start off this hour in New York. Hi, Sergi. What's up?
Hey, how are you, Dave?
Great, man. How can I help?
Got a question for you about selling the house. We've never done it before. We purchased the house. Now we are looking to purchase another house, planning on, and obviously question came up to sell our house that we have right now. And there's when we go through realtor, there's 7%. Mm-hmm. We have to pay for selling our house. Mm-hmm. And since, I've started to listen to the show and working on eliminating our own debt, and we've done it. We finished the step 2. So now I always constantly, me and my wife, we always think about, everything reasonably when we plan things and everything. So now we plan about this, and there's 7%, and it bugs me. I don't have peace in my heart to sell the house.
You ever had a toothache? Have you ever had a toothache?
Yes, I did before. Absolutely.
Did you use pliers or a dentist?
Dentist.
Okay. There's some things you don't do yourself because you don't know what you're doing. You told me you didn't know what you're doing.
Right. Well,
yeah.
I've had friends.
This is your most expensive asset. It's hundreds of. When you make a mistake selling a piece of real estate, it ain't $10, dude. I mean, when you make a mistake selling a piece of real estate, it's tens of thousands of dollars. And you're in a wackadoodle world right now for real estate. It's cray-cray out there. This ain't amateur hour, man. Mm-hmm. You definitely want a pro in your corner. It's going to save you more than 7%. Oh, and by the way, let me help you with this. It's not 7%, it's 3.5%, because some Duber realtor will bring you an offer if you'll agree to pay them for their buyer's portion of 3.5%, and you're only going to end up saving the seller's portion, which is 3.5%. And And now we're really down into you're going to lose it. A monkey can sell a house right now, but will they sell it for the right price and without a bunch of errors that cost you tens of thousands of dollars? I wouldn't sell my own house right now, and I've had a real estate license since 1978. You're going to make more, and you're going to have a lot less hassle. And I don't even work on my own cars anymore. I don't know. I used to open the hood and get a 9/16 and adjust the.
I can watch this on YouTube and fix it myself.
There wasn't YouTube then, but I could set the timing on the Monte Carlo 350, right? I could do all that. I open the hood now, and it looks like a freaking spaceship under there. I can't even touch that stuff. Every time I try to fix my car now, it costs me more than it would have cost me to have somebody fix my car because I break something. And that's what you're going to do, Sergi. Don't do it.
Yeah. I've had a family member who did for sale by owner, and it was the worst nightmare. And I had tried to warn them to stay away from that. But there are such costly mistakes you make. You're not reaching the bigger market because realtors have access to the MLS. They take better photos. They understand strategy and staging and what is going to cause someone to pay more money. And so in the long run, you're going to make more on that purchase by going through a realtor.
Well, and here's the thing. Okay, let's pretend you get one of these houses that people are going bananas, okay, where you get like 60 offers or 40 offers or something. The seller, it's almost impossible emotionally for the seller to manage that process and clean through that and get the best possible deal and deal professionally with the other 39 who don't get the house. You've got to have some communication lines open. You have to have a process. Basically, you're conducting a freaking auction in a lot of these situations, and you've got to know how to manage that logistically and what the law says about it. You get yourself in a pinch, man. I wouldn't do it. You can do what you want to do, but I think you're getting a bargain at 7%. If you get a good real estate agent, now, if you got Uncle Charlie who got his license 3 weeks ago and he wants you to do it because he's family, no, Charlie's dumb as you are. Don't do it. He doesn't know what he's doing either. No, you get a high-octane, high-quality real estate agent that knows what they're doing and does a couple of hundred transactions a year. When they step in, you're never going to feel the tooth when it comes out.
That's true. And everyone who's worked with one of those amazing realtors goes, that was worth every single penny I paid them to not have to deal with that. If you get a good
one, you get a bad one, it's like anything else. But
yeah.
And it's the same thing. I don't do my own taxes. I don't write my own will. I don't work on my own car, and I don't pull my own teeth. There's some things.
And you got all your teeth. So that tells me you've done well.
That's what's working out. But the DIY thing, there's some things you feel that way about, and you're wrong. And this is one of them. It's the actual normal market data, and I can't really talk about it in this market, but the normal market data is that a realtor sold house with a high-quality real estate agent will sell for more than 7% more than the non-real estate agent sold house. That's normal. In this world, who the crud knows? Because you don't even know what they're going to sell for. An asking price is now suggesting starting point. It doesn't even mean anything anymore. Asking price used to be suggested starting point, and I'm going to offer less. You offer less, you're not getting the house. You can forget it now. In most of these markets, that's where we are.
Well, and you're relying on a sign in the yard and then uploading to whatever site will allow you to upload your iPhone photos that were crappily taken. And so when you work with a realtor, they know the professional photographers. They understand how to stage it. They understand how to market it well. They understand every strategy around contingencies. And this is the kind of market we're in.
You're hiring a marketing professional for 7%. And if you were doing something else that was a $700,000 transaction and it was a complicated transaction, you wouldn't think anything about paying the attorney that did the transaction or whatever. It's part of the process in a complicated thing. And I just highly recommend it. All the data that's out there in a normal market says that they're worth it. In this market, they're probably more than worth it. And those of you thinking about buying a house, same deal. Get you a good buyer's agent. Because, if you go on RamseySolutions.com and click on ELP for real estate, endorsed local provider, Ramsey Trusted Real Estate Agents that we trust, they're all high octane. We've vetted all of them. We know what they know what they're doing. And if you're going to buy a house in this world, you've got to, you got to get some advice. Like, you got to have somebody go, no, those people have gone crazy. Walk away from that deal. It's a bad deal.
Yeah, you get too emotional when it's just you.
Yeah.
And you get bought in on this one house and you start to make stupid decisions.
Yeah.
Good agent makes all the difference.
And when you're dealing, man, It's definitely not amateur hour right now. I would feel better about you being a FSBO, and I think you'd have less damage in a normal world. But right now, good gracious, absolutely not. This is the Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
George Camel, Ramsey Personalities, my co-host today. I've laughed over the years at how many people have tried to call me an overnight success. You work your butt off for 30 years, and now you're an overnight success. On the surface, it makes for a much more exciting story, but I know that overnight success is not really what happens. You really have to, you have to create momentum. You have to create meaning. And a few years ago, we developed a way of thinking around here at Ramsey. We call it the momentum theorem. And it's a math formula. Focused intensity, Fi, over T, over time, Fi over T, multiplied by large G, God. Focused intensity over time multiplied by God equals unstoppable momentum. And we've taught this lesson in detail on how to create focused intensity over time multiplied by God to create unstoppable momentum to leadership all over America. I teach this to our team. I've taught it in EntreLeadership for years. And the team decided that it's a great idea to turn it into one of our little Ramsey quick reads. The only problem, George, is it's not much.
That's my kind of book.
It's like it's
60 pages, 70 pages?
No, you wish. 43 pages. It's a pamphlet. It's not even a book. It's just it's so thin. I mean, we can make a paper airplane out of it. But it's $10 is all. That's the good news. And you'll read it in about 20 minutes or 30 minutes or something.
You're a speed reader.
But the cool thing is, if you look back over the past year, what parts of your life are stuck? What needs a little mojo? What muddy trench are you slogging in? Where do you need something to break open, like your marriage, your parenting, your mental health, your career, your money, your business? Guess what? Momentum has to do with all of those things. And momentum is not accidental. It is created. And this theorem shows you how. So I'm going to promise you're going to feel like you didn't get much for $10. But here's the thing. If you get one idea for $10, it's probably worth $10.
Yeah. And what I love about the momentum theorem
is that much there.
When you multiply it by that big G, by God, that's infinite.
Yep.
And you talk about this in the book, but when you multiply something by the infinite, it's an infinite result.
The answer on the other side of the math equation is always infinite. It's a calculus thing, right? So to infinity and beyond, right? But I mean, it's infinite. That's what it is. So yeah, it's you want unstoppable momentum. This is how it works, and we lay it all out for you. So that's kind of fun. I haven't done a quick read, so I thought we needed one, and they thought we needed one. So sat down and typed it out, and then they edited it, which was a lot harder than typing it. And again, there's not much to it, but the idea and the concept is worth $1 bazillion.
And it's what this place was built on. Whether you're getting out of debt or building a business, this book is for all areas of life. And so I'd pick a copy up. and rate it in an hour.
Check it out, or less. Joe's in Phoenix. Hi, Joe. How are you? Uh-oh. I think I did something wrong.
Did we lose him?
I think Joe went just as I got to him. He got tired of me hearing him, but talk. He lost his momentum. Scott's in Atlanta. Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I got a question for you. Last year before, my mom got diagnosed with dementia. I got 3 older brothers, and we wound up having put her in a nursing home.
I'm sorry.
She has 2 properties, one that she lived in on 9 acres in North Carolina, and then a rental property a mile up the road that's on 2 acres. The rental property is not been rented in over 15 years. Needs some work done to it, and it's in an area that's kind of sketchy. Well, not sketchy, but it's an older area. But all around it, $700,000 homes are going up. So Mom owns the last 2 big swaths of land in Union County, basically. And so I have guardianship of this estate. I'm trying to figure out whether or not to sell it or pay to have it renovated and then sell it. I had one contractor come out and look at it, and he basically said the house was built in '83. I mean, it's really dated, has some water damage, but he made an offer to reno it from $130,000 to $150,000, but that didn't include anything structural that we might have found on the renovation.
What will it sell for? Hey, Scott. What will it sell for? What can you sell it for as is and not touch it?
The realtor said she could probably get $300 for it, but then I said put the fillers out there, see what happens. And one guy came back $180. He offered $180 for it. Mm-hmm. And she said, "Well, fixed up, I could probably get you $400 for it, but that's going to probably take $100,000." Well, then she brings me a contractor, but he wants $130, $150, just basic reno, and then throws in the caveat that if there's structural damage, it's going to be more.
Yeah.
Well, he knew.
I'm not doing a renovation. I'm not doing a renovation in an estate. Renovations are a pain in the butt. You don't need a new hobby.
Well, I'm not going to do it. I would just pay to do it.
You're going to deal with all the freaking hassle.
Okay.
You're going to be dealing with the mess. You're going to be dealing with the hassle, the stress, the process, the delays, the increases in materials, there is structural damage, all this crap. Just sell it as is and be done with it. Turn it into money.
Okay. And then with this market the way it is, because I used to be a millionaire until Biden got in office. Do I let it sit? You have, but I'm mad. I was over $1 million when he came in office. I'm sitting at $800,000 now, a $250,000 loss.
On what?
On my 401k.
Oh, it hadn't gone. You're okay. It's going to be right back. Don't worry about that. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, all right, this sounds like a money pit, though.
Yeah. Get a different realtor. I don't care for the way this one's transacting here. Jump online at RamseySolutions.com and find one of our ELPs and just put it on the market as is, where it is, and sell it. It sounds like it might be a teardown. It sounds like it might be the dirt is what it's worth, but that dirt might be worth $300 also, the way you're talking here. So, but no, this is not, you don't need to get in the renovation business. You weren't signed up for that. And she should have, I mean, how do things sit dormant for 15 years? It should have been sold a long time ago.
That's no investment.
Yeah, but I'd get rid of it and turn it into money, and then the money's laying there for your mom, and that's your job, is to do this on behalf of your mom. And then if she doesn't need the money and it turns into an inheritance, then it's easier to split up money than it is an old ragged house. So yeah, get rid of it. And you probably need to go and get her house sold too. She's probably not coming back home. And just turn everything into money. And that's pretty cold and unemotional to just throw that around. But all I'm doing is simplifying your life, because I'm telling you to do what you're going to end up doing anyway. It's just a matter of when.
How do you help people process through the sentimental value of property? And this was Mom's property. How do you navigate that? People want to hang on to things.
I think you just have to kind of have a Dr. John Deloney moment and just say it out loud. This is sad. I mean, like, my grandma passed away many years ago, and my uncles and aunts, parents decided they weren't keeping that farm. It was a small farm by then. They sold off a lot of it and subdivided it. But the old house had been in the family 3 generations. And I played in the backyard, and everybody else played in the backyard, and it's kind of sad. And when I'm in that little town, I visit, I drive by, and just have a little moment, right? But that didn't mean we need to keep that house because nobody in the family was around to mess with it. And what was it? It's not. It was time. It was a season, and the season's over, and stuff is stuff. But it's big things like cars and houses and that kind of stuff. It's very difficult to let your sentimentality override good wisdom. And yet you still just have to say out loud, this sucks.
You got to separate the emotion from the facts and the logic and the financial pieces.
I don't know if you separate. I think you just admit it. You say it's there. Even though this makes me sad, it's still the right thing to do. Even though we could get a little bit more for this house if we put $100,000 into it, it's not worth the hassle. It's not going to change her situation, and he's the guardian doing this representing for her. So even though, her home and you start selling the stuff out of the house, you have an estate sale, and then you sell the house itself, and that's painful while she's alive and in the nursing home, she's got dementia. She's not coming home. It's sad. It's just, you just process it. You say out loud, this just sucks. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Quincy and Portia are with us in Coral Springs, Florida. It says on my screen you guys are debt-free. Congratulations.
Yes! How you guys doing?
We are amazing, and so are you. How much have you paid off?
$73,000.
Love it. How long did this take?
3 years.
All right. And your range of income during that time?
So we were still dating at the time. We got married 2020, but we were dating at the time. I was making $6,000 a year, and she made $26,000 a year. This past year, we made our first $100,000.
Wow. Whoa! Well, I got to tell you, Quincy, you've improved. Quincy, I was worried about you at first, but you've improved quite a bit.
What were you doing for $6,000 a year?
I was worried about me too.
But Portia still thought you were worthy, so she brought you onto the game.
Thank you, Dave.
I like it. So, what was the $73,000 in debt?
So we had a couple credit cards, Banana Republic, Best Buy. Portia had a car loan, $12,000, and then the rest was student loans, $60,000 worth of student loans.
Wow. So what do you guys do for a living?
I am a choreographer and a dance studio owner.
Mm-hmm. And I am a vocal director and a contracted singer here in South Florida.
Okay, because they just showed your picture up on YouTube, and you look like a couple of freaking models.
That's what I thought too, Dave.
So I knew the glamour shot that you were somewhere in the business. So you're beautiful.
We have to give y'all something nice,
Yeah, you guys are beautiful, man. It's amazing.
Thank
All right.
you.
So cool. Very cool. Congratulations. All right. What got you started on this whole Ramsey kick?
Well, our church was offering it at Church by the Glades, and our friends Sam and Jade Warshaw took us under their wings, saw that we were dating and wanted to fix our money, and just helped us when we were 21 and helped us get on track, and we just started doing it.
Now, wait a minute. Who did you say took you under the wing?
Sam and Jade Warshaw.
Jade?
Jade.
Same Jade.
Yeah.
We know her.
Gosh, okay. And I know your church. I've spoken there. They're wonderful.
Yes, I was there. We were both there.
We lead worship there, so you probably...
Oh, my God. Man, that's some of the best worship anywhere. You guys are incredible.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's Miami vibe, man. It's awesome. I love it.
It has to be. be. It has to be.
You guys are getting it. It's great. Yeah. So fun. Well, I didn't know. Well, we've got good common friends then. So
yeah.
So they got you started because Jade will light you up now. I mean, she'll light you up and get you going, right?
Oh, they lit us up, and we've been going ever since. Even after the pandemic, we actually paid off all of our student loans in 1 year, in 8 months actually.
Wow.
In 2021. So we were a bit afraid to pay it off because of everything that happened. But, man, like they just made sure that we understood our goals. And we just said, you know what, let's just pay it off. And in 8 months, we paid it off. And now we're debt-free.
I love it. I love it. You guys are incredible.
So no more falling for the Banana Republic in-store credit card offer, apparently.
No.
To save 10%.
That was a long time ago, and I worked for a company that needed certain, uniforms, but no more, absolutely not. I don't even dress like that at all.
You're over it. Well, you guys are very impressive. So what do you tell another young couple? They've got a normal life like you had, credit cards, student loan debt, and they go, well, Biden's going to forgive it, and the credit card gives me rewards. What do you say to people like that?
As tempting as it may sound, like, man, you just got to take it into your own hands. Like, you have the power to change your situation. And
change your life.
We had a big hole to shovel, but we just made our shovel bigger the best way that we could. And here we are today.
Yeah.
So just take it a step at a time.
So it sounds like life was happening to you.
It works.
Yeah. Life was just kind of happening to you, and you decided to happen to it.
Absolutely. And we're contractors, so we don't even have like a
very
steady
irregular
income. So we really had everything stacked up, but we made a choice and we stuck to it.
Wow. Very cool. You guys are awesome. Absolutely incredible.
So much.
So proud of you guys. Very, very neat.
Plan is awesome, and it works. It works. It works. It works. It works. It's not a magic trick. Just do the work, and it works.
Yeah. So you just buckle down, live on nothing, and get it done.
Right.
And you know
what's
weird is God will provide. When you start working a plan, God will provide the work.
Amen.
You got lots of work, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, we got so much work that I was like, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
We didn't even submit for this. How did we get this job? That's what was happening.
That's very cool. Good for you guys. Well done, well done. Well, give Pastor David a hug for me. He's a great guy.
Yes, he is. We will.
Yeah, very good stuff. All right, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you, How Ordinary People Built Extraordinary Wealth, How You Can Too. That's the next chapter in your story. Without a doubt, you two are on the business for that. It's good. Very good stuff. And a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away to someone. And we're going to give you access to Financial Peace University and every dollar premium Ramsey Plus membership for a year. And you can either use that yourself or you can give it away to somebody. Maybe you'll be Jade to somebody else, right?
Man, that's awesome. Thank you guys so much.
You guys are incredible. Very fun talking to you. Good stuff, and we're proud for you. All right, $73,000 paid off. Quincy and Portia in Coral Springs, Florida, did that in 3 years, making $6K, $26K, up to $100K. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Put some pep in your step right there.
I love it.
I love their energy.
Man. Well, that place, that is a great church. The church is full of energy, for one thing. But, yeah, and certainly Jade is. There's no question about that. They're good people and good stuff. Fun.
It's amazing. You put yourself around good people who are wanting to grow, and you all of a sudden,
you
grow.
You got to be careful because you become who you hang around with. And, you need to be hanging around with people that are knocking stuff down, picking it up and knocking it down. This sitting around waiting on somebody else to fix your life, if that's who you're hanging around with, you're going to have a long life.
Well, most people are surrounded by a bunch of Eeyores who are going, well, little man can't get ahead. I'll always have a car payment. Biden's going to forgive it one of these days. And all of a sudden, there you are, and you're Eeyore. And you entertain a clown, you join the circus. And so be careful.
Ooh.
Be careful, people.
Entertain a clown and join a circus.
Don't do it.
George.
I don't entertain clowns.
That's good. I like that. I might actually steal
I hang
that.
out with Dave Ramsey. I'm trying to build wealth.
Expect me to steal that line, okay?
That's fine.
Because that's a really good
I don't
line.
think I invented it. It's, it's public domain.
Well, yeah, okay. Then I can steal it, and I'll just say I said it, right?
Yeah, you don't have to give me credit. It's fine.
I will.
I've stolen enough of your lines over the years.
Fair trade.
Yeah.
Fair trade. All right. Open phones at 888-825-5225. We're glad you're here. No, man, be not deceived. Evil company corrupts good habits. You do become who you hang around with. That's why we don't let our children run around with juvenile delinquents, because your child will become a juvenile delinquent. Okay, if little Johnny down the street's got a trash mouth, expect your kid to come home with a trash mouth, right? And don't be shocked. All right, your little angel's not going to survive this exposure, and guess what? You won't either. And it's not to say we have to snub somebody or be mean to somebody. I'm not ever unkind to someone. I'm talking about who your closest friends were. See, that couple, they had another couple come alongside them that we happen to know. They're really sharp, and put their arms around them, walk with them, hover over them, encourage them, push them. The opposite of someone that's holding you back and going, well, you just, you crazy to do that. And, you put all your money in Bitcoin and, and all these dumb butt things that people you run around with say. And then all of a sudden you're just another dumb butt because you run around with them.
You got to create boundaries and go, hey, I can see you once a year, but you're not going to be one of my close people who I let into my life.
Your income, studies have shown, over a 10-year period of time will be within 10 to 15% of the average of your 10 closest friends. Some of you are going, I need some new friends.
I need Dave Ramsey to be my friend. Let's up this. Let's go.
This is the Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Alan is with us. Alan is in New Jersey, Newark to be precise. Hi, Alan. How are you?
How you doing, Ramsey? Just trying to put this all together, and I hope to see how we can best unpack this. Now, I have me and my wife have about like $900,000 in debt, but it's not all crazy debt. It's investment debt. So just give you a runabout, just from what we make. My wife, she works at the port. She's a longshoreman, and she makes about $160. I work in the IT field and the data field, and I make about $115. So let's put that there. I have a nice little nest egg of about $60,000 that's put aside, and I'm 33, she's 32. We're married with 4 kids that's under 10. So it's 10 and under. Yeah, so that's one thing. About the debt portion, I have about $166,000 in my primary home. I bought a house that I renovated, and I just renovated it as a 2-family home, and that's probably ARV is probably worth about $400 right now, and I don't have no debt on that. But however, I had to take out about $100,000 to put into the property to renovate it. All right, so
you do have debt on it, or you don't?
I don't have debt on that property. No, I don't have debt on it. But
you got $100,000 unsecured.
Unsecured. That's
that
right.
You used on that property. Okay.
Correct. I got 20 in the line of, well, it's less than 100, but it's like 20 in the line of credit.
Yeah.
And about 50, like about 50 from your favorite place so far. I got that one. And then we bought another house, a 4-family, for about for $500,000, but we got it down to like $450. We put some money into it. We put about 40 into it.
What's it worth today?
About like $650.
And what do you owe on it total?
What I owe on it right now?
Mm-hmm.
$450.
Okay, so I got $850. Okay, there it is. All right.
And then we have about my wife's got a car, $23,000 in car, and about $6,000 on credit cards. No student loans. We paid all that off, and yeah.
Okay. Why are you calling us? How can we help?
Now here's the thing: the property that doesn't have any debt on it, right? I need to pull money out that property to get rid of the interest rate on the debt that I took out to renovate it, right?
Yeah. Why are you calling us?
To see.
What do you want to do?
How could you? What's the best way to structure it, and to see what your recommendation is?
Okay. I started buying real estate when I was 22. By the time I was 26, I owned $4 million worth, and I had about a $3 million debt on it. So I had $1 million worth of equity in the real estate, starting from nothing. What you're doing sounds very stressful to me. It does not sound like there's any peace in your voice.
Yeah, we try to figure it out. We try to structure everything. So.
Yeah, I think you play the edges on everything, don't you?
No, not really. You know,
yeah,
my truck.
Yeah, you
I got a Chevy Tahoe that has 170,000 miles on it. I went to a dealership to buy a car. So
Dude, you moved the P 3 or 4 times on the shell, still trying to hide it just in this conversation. Yeah, you're and
We're not in the debt restructuring business. We're in the debt payoff business, and it doesn't sound like you're at a point where you want to become completely debt-free or that you're willing to do what it takes to get there.
Yeah, the question you're asking and the answers we're going to give are all around the same issue. The issue is, okay, you're 33. When you're 43, what moves are going to make you the best off? Okay? The best off financially and have the best quality of life with 4 little kids, and both of you work in big, high-stress jobs and everything. So I'm going to get rid of one of these properties and a whole bunch of if not all of this debt in the process. Because I think that's going to add an amazing amount of peace to your life. A, you cut your number of tenants in half. B, you got rid of almost, if not all, of your debt. So 400 and 166 pays off. You get rid of everything but the debt on the rental. You pay off your mortgage, your car, your credit cards, and the $100,000 that's owed, and you sell the $400,000 property. That's probably what I'm going to do, because that will take me, because the peace and the calm, steady movement rather than the flailing about will cause you to build more wealth over time. And you've been just kind of pushing the edges on this. Maybe you don't realize you are, but and if you don't realize you are, that's even more of a problem. Because I know this guy because I was him. I mean, something about the real estate business, they take the risk meter out of your heart and they put it on a table and hit it with a hammer and break it, so you no longer can measure risk. And you don't perceive that all of this is risk.
You just see returns. You get a little starry-eyed.
Well, the renters are paying it off. No, they're not. The renters don't pay their bill half the time. You got a problem all the time with that. And so it's just an issue. So, no, I'm going to move you backward, what feels like backward to you, but set you into a real calm place. Let's visit where you are at that point, okay? Probably the 650 with the 450 loan is cash flowing. It's probably cash flowing a little, not a lot. But you got zero debt then. No house payment, no car payment, no $100,000 unsecured hanging out there at a high interest rate. And you only got a couple tenants. And you make $275,000 a year. And you're 33 years old. That's a much better place than where you are today, brother. That's a much more solid platform to launch into the future. We don't find, Alan, very many people in our millionaire study that borrowed their way into becoming millionaires using the system you're using or that I used when I went broke. Most people, the vast majority of millionaires do not do that to become millionaires. And so that data is real. It's not a theory, and it's not well, what about the... There's no arguing with the actual data.
Most people, Dave, especially young guys, they want to get into real estate investing, and our advice is to have a paid-for property for yourself first, then do all of your real estate investing in cash. To them, it sounds insane. Why do we say that?
because the shortest distance to wealth is always no debt. It's the shortest, fastest route. And it's not just I made that up. I mean, it's in the Bible, the borrower slave to the lender. Oh, also, all the data with the 10,000 millionaires that we've studied. Oh, also, if you just walk around and talk to rich people, they're not going to tell you, I did it with Bitcoin. I got this big hit. I bought llamas. I opened a llama farm. They were big one time. There was a big get-rich-quick thing on llama farms.
Llama farms, wow.
Yeah. And I bought Beanie Babies. They don't tell you that. And they don't say, I did nothing down real estate. Because I got to tell you, man, I knew probably 100 people doing nothing down real estate in the 80s. 100% of them are out of the business. Wow. Or they paid off everything and got out of the debt business. One of the two. I actually know one guy that he cashed out of about 3/4 of his portfolio, ended up with 25% as many properties, and they were all debt free.
That changes everything.
He got tired of living on the edge. And
most people will go, well, that's stupid, Dave. You're losing out on all the cash flow of the properties.
Well, the thing is, when they're leveraged, they don't cash flow that much. That 450 over 650, he's not making much money.
Your margins on that.
After you have vacancy, you have loss, credit loss, meaning they don't pay their bill, they go into bankruptcy. You have a heat and air unit go out. You have a roof leak. You pay your taxes. You pay, and by the time you finish all that, he's not making much cash flow on that. He's not getting rich off that house. Now, the value may be shooting up, but the actual cash on cash, there's not much there. So this idea that somehow you're going to I'll just buy a house and the money just starts coming in. No, it really doesn't if you leverage it up to your eyeballs.
So it's all about delayed gratification.
Yeah. It's go a little slower or go a lot slower, which in the end of the story ends up being faster.
He who hastens to be rich will not go unpunished.
There it is again.
Boom.
George Camel, Ramsey personality. In the booth is Austin, Ben, Zach, Andrew, and, of course, James. I am Dave Ramsey, and we'll be back. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. George Camel, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. This is The Ramsey Show. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Starting off this hour is Josh in Dallas, Texas. Hey, Josh, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Dave?
Better than we deserve, brother. How can we help?
Yes, I'm a federal employee, and I heard you talking to another controller not too long ago about TSP, and I was wondering if you could be given too much in the TSP that could reduce your income at the same time. I didn't know if that was possible.
If you could put too much into the TSP and reduce your income.
Correct.
Oh, you're talking about taxable income. So you would use a
taxable income.
Yeah. Aren't they offering a Roth TSP now?
Yes, we do have a Roth TSP. I'm on the traditional TSP as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do a budget. I did FPU about 7 years ago with my wife, but we kind of gotten out of control lately, and I'm just sitting here trying to figure out where's all my money going. I don't know if it's gas and inflation, mortgage. So I'm just trying to get a control of my money and budgeting, but I didn't know if you could go to us too much into the TSP or even taxes.
Yeah. We recommend a Roth more than a traditional. and a match more than a Roth. And some TSP has match, most does not. And so I wouldn't move the stuff that's in traditional over, but I would, from this point forward, make my contributions into the Roth. And but all of that would be after you're out of debt and have an emergency fund.
Is that
right,
where
that's
you're
what I was
at?
gonna say. Would you? Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm kind of in debt. But I was wondering if I should stop doing TSP.
You're in debt?
And try to. Yeah, in debt.
What kind of debt have you got?
Credit card and then used car payment.
What's the total amount of the debt?
Let's see, 5 on the credit card and about 20 on the car, used car.
Okay. Well, how long would it take to pay off all of this debt right now if you got intense about it?
Maybe 3 months.
Okay.
What's your household income?
Well, actually, let's just say on the credit card about 3 months, and then the car maybe another year.
Ah. Okay.
What's your household income?
Before taxes is 94, so about $5,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Wife is a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, Josh, we have figured out that the shortest path, the quickest path, the most sure path to wealth is to get control of your largest wealth building tool, which is your income, meaning to get debt paid off before we start investing. And so we tell folks to work a plan called the baby steps. And baby step 1 is you stop all investing temporarily and have $1,000 in the bank. How much do you have in savings that's not retirement?
Savings, we do have an emergency fund.
How much?
900, and I'm getting close to doing 1,000 on the emergency fund.
So you've kind of heard about this then? Okay.
Yes, we did FPU a while back, and now we're trying to get back into it, but we gave away our books and everything.
Okay. Well, we're going to put you back through it because we want you to you didn't pass the first time.
Right.
So, we're going to do the baby steps, which means we're going to temporarily stop retirement. We're going to tighten this budget down. We're not doing anything until we get this $25,000 paid off. And I think you can do it probably a little faster than you're thinking. You probably are, should be able to do it in a year.
Okay.
From today, 100% done. And then when you're out of debt, everything but the house, that's going to feel pretty good. Then we're going to take the $1,000 account, build it up to 3 to 6 months of expenses. Then we'll start the TSP back up in the Roth.
Okay.
Hey, Josh, I know it hurts to pause that investing. You're excited about building wealth, but the truth is, when you pause investing, it's going to accelerate the debt payoff. And when you accelerate the debt payoff, you can then accelerate the investing. Because a lot of people are scraping by trying to throw, percentages at the investment. But the truth is, instead of putting 5% in and you're hoping to get to 10, you're going to be able to put 15% when you don't owe anyone anything. And so that's what we want for you. And that's what I did. And, man, it's a game changer.
So hang on. We're going to have Austin pick up and get you signed up for Financial Peace University again as our gift. And that includes the every dollar premium version. It's all a part of Ramsey Plus. We'll give you a 1-year subscription to all of it, and you can go right back through the lessons. We're getting ready to launch brand new Financial Peace University lessons. And one of the lessons, folks, you'll be seeing in about a couple weeks from now, features Dr. John Deloney and George Camel talking about the psychology of marketing and how that impacts your spending. And it's a brand new lesson that we've never had on FPU, and it's really good. It's really good. I was playing CEO and going through the
screening
tape, going through and screening all of these the other day, and I'm like, you know what? This is the best Financial Peace University lessons we've ever done.
Wow.
I've probably done 10, 15 shoots over the years, different versions of it, on the video and then on the DVD, and then, of course, online now. And we've added and changed and twisted and learned to teach the curriculum and shortened it and being more direct, more concise, more to the point. And I got to tell you, George, you, Rachel, Deloney, it's really, really good. It's the new Financial Peace University lessons. It'll just be starting here in a couple of weeks. You guys are going to want to be in Ramsey Plus and get that going because they're strong. And if you've got friends or relatives that have never been through it and you buy them a 1-year membership to Financial Peace and all that, they'll get these new lessons, and I was in a meeting last night with a bunch of the leadership team. They're got all kinds of plans for the online experience, with the workbook being online and all that.
Oh, yeah.
We're stuff on the whiteboard that's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
That's awesome. Well, Financial Peace University is the thing that changed my life when I started working here, and so it's an honor to be in it. I mean, I'm just pinching myself going, oh my gosh, it's amazing. I get to be in this and help create that life change that I experienced.
Yeah, and you're good. I mean, you really did a good job.
That means a lot. Thank you.
The production values, the staging, and the process, our guys just knocked it out.
Our team's amazing. They make us look good.
They knocked it out of the park, baby.
Check it out.
Yeah, you can do that. And the way the thing's set up now, guys, it's pretty easy to gift it to a friend or a relative.
Yeah, we got our own website for that,
whatever,
right?
And yeah.
RamseySolutions.com/gift.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And, you can set it up easy and, just like we just gave it to him. It's a lot of you. I mean, like 10 million people have been through it.
That's amazing.
So,
and your name doesn't have to be a cuss word. Instead of talking about Dave, you just go, hey, how about this? I'll gift you Ramsey Plus. Go watch the videos. Done.
That's a lot of cussing.
I like that.
This is the Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Laura's in St. Louis. Hey, Laura, what's up?
Hey, hi, Dave and George. Thank you for taking my call, and thank you for what you do. I actually became a financial advisor because of you.
Wow.
Very cool.
We're honored. Thank you.
Yeah,
Good.
Thanks. And I got my CFP.
Well, good for you.
Nice.
Trying to do the best I can. So I started from scratch and then built a nice business. However, I'm in an area that is kind of overrun by men, and I am the one that they bully. So I've been made an offer with another firm. How do you make that decision, and do you think my clients will follow? Because the idea of starting over scares me.
Sounds to me like you've already made the decision.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, it's just I'm going to jump off of this diving board, and I know I'm not going to get hurt, but I've never done it before, and so it still scares me.
Right.
But I'm going to jump. That's really what you just said. You're not going to stay there. You have too much self-respect to stay in a situation that you just described to me.
My fear is that the clients won't follow because I can't contact them for a year.
Your fear of that does not supersede your fear of staying in this toxic situation.
True.
So you're leaving.
So build an emergency fund before I leave because I'll be starting over with no salary.
You single?
No.
You broke?
No.
Okay. So why do you have to do all that? You're all right. You're not going to go hungry. And here's the thing. Okay? You built this book of business. It did not come because of one of the bullies, right?
Right.
So why in the world would they stay with the bully? They came to you in the first place.
True.
Have you? I mean, from a practical standpoint. Now, do they have any kind of a legal hold on that book?
Yes.
Oh. So what happens if your client walks in and says, I'm going to leave and I'm going to go to Laura? Nothing. But you can't solicit them.
Yes.
Okay. So you've got a non-solicitation when you leave, but if they come to you without you reaching out to them, that's okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you can't proactively. How often do you usually have contact with them?
With my top 100?
Mm-hmm.
At least quarterly.
Okay. So kind of walk it through with me. What do you think will happen when Top 100 calls in, because you haven't called them because you're not allowed to, and they say, oh, Laura left?
I would imagine they would ask where I went.
Will they tell you? Tell them?
They have to, by law, send out a letter.
Oh.
Saying where I went.
In advance?
Yes. Well, as soon as I put in my resignation, when I leave the firm, then they have to send out a letter saying where I went.
Okay.
And the new firm is going to do all sorts of advertising.
Okay. Oh, this is a
Sounds like free marketing to me. They're sending out a letter.
No-brainer.
Marketing your new company.
Listen, you're going to get 60 or 80 of them. Because you're a relationship person. You built relationships with them and trust with them. They work with you for a reason. And it's because you're Laura. It's not just because you know stuff.
That's what someone else said. I just wanted to hear it from you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you and I both know the CFP world, okay?
Yes.
And there are CFPs that are relational. They to the point that you will end up working with some of these people's grandkids over the decades. And then there are CFPs that are certified financial Pharisees.
That's true too.
And they're legalistic maniacs, and all they are is super nerds, and they have the relationship skills of a dead doorknob. Right?
Right.
And that's the business that you're in. And that, so you got no competition. That's why the Dave Ramsey thing's such a big deal. It's because I was the first guy who said money stuff out loud in a way that wasn't so nerdy and talking down to people like they were all idiots. I go, hey, that's stupid, but I'm stupid too. I don't go like you're stupid and I'm smart, And so that's the world. You're going to do fine. You're going to do fine. How long did it take you to build this book of business?
8 years.
Oh, you're going to be fine. How old are you?
51.
51?
Yes.
Oh, you're almost dead. You're not going to make it.
That's my concern, Dave. You're 10 years older than me. And I learned about you in my 30s.
You're just getting started.
That was an underhand pitch, kiddo. Oh, you're going to be amazing.
Dave's about to hit his midlife crisis.
So what do you
okay.
What do you think, Joe? What do you think the percentages will follow her? You know the business, too.
Yeah, I would say 50% of the clients are going to jump over because they don't want to deal with whoever the new guy is at this
I'd say it's
company.
more than that. I mean, wouldn't you jump? I mean, you don't go to a company. Our SmartVestor pros don't retain.
I just did this with my barber. I like my barber. I don't care about where he works. I just want to follow my barber because I trust him.
Not a problem I have, George.
So you don't have to deal with that, Dave. That's
You're
the one
right.
thing I have on you is hair.
That's right. That's you definitely much better hair. Much better.
But it's the same concept.
Yeah, it is.
I trust my barber. We have a relationship. I tried the other guys. It didn't work out with them.
Yeah.
So I moved with him to his new business.
That is a good example. I mean, and your doctor. My doctor just changed.
He changed his hospitals.
And I didn't go back to the goobs that he used to work with. I went with the guy, the new goobs that he moved to. And it's a freaking doctor. I don't need to start over with this guy.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't need to. It's too much trouble.
Too much medical history.
Oh yeah, because I have no medical history. That's the point.
I'm sure you go to the doctor like once every 8 years.
At least.
You don't strike me like the type that
yeah.
has a sniffle and decides to go see the doctor.
He the only reason he knows me is we're just personal friends outside of work. So
unless Dave's on a stretcher, he's not going in.
The point though is not that. The point is she's going to do fabulous because you can just tell talking to her. I trust her just talking to her for a minute.
Yeah.
The way she carries herself, her vernacular, her voice tone, her cadence, you sense a solid person of integrity that is not in a hurry and not greedy. She's actually worried about them, not just her.
That's a unicorn in the financial planning world.
They're out there. I mean, our SmartVestor pros fall in that category. They're those kinds of people, but the rest of them, are not everybody that's not a SmartVestor pro, but there's too many people in the business that are all about super nerding, or they just get caught up in the nuances of stuff. But she's going to do great. I think you're wrong, George. I think it's 75%.
Hey,
so, Laura, you call us back in 6 months and tell us who won the bet. George's got his money on 50. I got my money on 75. So
I play conservative.
I know.
I'm not like Rachel at the slots.
I'm a big Laura fan. So
that's fair.
I think this is where it's going. All right, this is good stuff. Sylvana is with us in New York City. Is it Sylvana? Is that correct?
It's Sylvana.
Sylvana, I apologize. How can I help?
Mm-hmm. Hi. So I am a current college student, my second year. I just transferred last year from a community college, so this is technically my first year at a 4-year college. I still have about 2.5 more years to go to finish my degree in computer engineering. Problem arises that I don't qualify for any financial aid whatsoever. Under my parents are divorced, so under my mom, nothing, because she makes way too much money.
But scholarships and work, you qualify for jobs and you qualify for scholarships.
Scholarships?
Yep.
Some I haven't received any.
Well, you haven't asked for any. There's not a scholarship fairy.
How many have you applied for?
I've lost count. I haven't even kept track. I've applied for everything.
Okay, you should have applied for 200 by now, not 20. And 20 is the number that you've actually applied for. You have to go for a whole bunch of them. We have Christina Ellis, Ramsey personality. She got $500,000 in scholarships. $500,000. You don't need that much. So scholarships. Oh, and by the way, kiddo, lots of people out there begging for people to work right now. You can make serious money in New York City right now because nobody's working. Go to work and work your butt off, and you can get through school. I promise you. Keep your expenses down and do it. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. We invite you to stop by Ramsey Solutions if you're in the Nashville area. We have a big visitor center, and we do the show on the glass, and so you can watch the zoo animals inside the glass doing our thing, and we're here for 3 hours every afternoon from 1 to 4 Central Time. There's free coffee and free cookies, and it all smells good and tastes good and nice people around. There's usually 50 to 200 folks hanging out here. And in the lobby, on the debt-free stage, Colin and Julie are joining us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, Dave, how are you?
Where do you guys live?
Gainesville, Georgia.
Ah, the swamp. All right, very cool. Well, welcome to Nashville. Good to have you. How much debt have you paid off?
$136 in 41 months.
Way to go. And your range of income during that time?
118 to 138.
Yep.
Cool. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm an engineer and Colin's a realtor.
Ah, very good. Very good. How long y'all been married?
3 years.
So you started this journey a little bit before marriage, each of you working on yours, and then combine incomes and get after it, huh?
Correct.
All right. So all this happened, I guess, after college. So what kind of debt was this? Student loans or what?
It's a mortgage.
You paid off your house? Oh, my gosh. And you've been married 3 years? How old are you guys?
I'm 31 and she's 29.
Oh, my goodness. Get out
This
of
is
here.
awesome. You're so weird. Way to go. 31 and 29. So what's this house worth, Mr. Realtor?
Right now, we could probably hawk it for $330 if we wanted to, but we're renovating, so not yet.
That is amazing.
Wow. All right. Tell me how you become a genius this early in life. What happened? What's the deal?
Well, Julie's the genius. I'm just the voice behind everything, but she's the brains behind the operation, and we had started the journey in 2018. We bought our home in 2017, but we were Dave-ish, and then we were both working second shift and had no social life, so we were like, well, what are we going to put this money towards? So we started the journey and decided to get after a goal. We're very goal-oriented.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, you got two great careers and Very cool.
When you don't have a social life, you can pay off the house. There it is. I'm impressed. So did you guys start your marriage off debt-free?
Well, so 3 years into it, so we didn't have any debt except for the mortgage whenever we got married. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, just the mortgage.
That's amazing.
So how did you guys learn this whole Ramsey stuff?
Julie was the one that got us on board. I was very tough to get going at first, and then once we started seeing how quickly we could attack it whenever we set our mind to it, it was awesome.
Wow.
Were you a realtor at the time?
I started off in logistics, and we decided that wasn't for me, and moved to real estate. And first 2 years, it was the roller coaster, of course, and things have started looking great, and so that's where we're at now.
Well, way to go, you guys! You're impressive. This is amazing. I mean, you did this really fast, really early, and just knocked it out. How's it feel to not have a payment in the world?
Pretty weird.
Yeah, it changes the way you handle yourself when you're selling a piece of real estate.
It certainly does. I'd encourage all my clients to knock it out as soon as they can.
Yeah, but I mean, when you don't have any payments, you don't have to make the sale.
Right.
And so you just think about them, you do the right thing, and you end up making more sales because you're just relaxed.
You're not desperate.
Yeah, and I'm put on this earth to serve people, and I don't care about their commission. I just want to help them.
Yeah. And now you really don't have to. I care about the commission, yeah.
So what was it like making that final payment? Was it anticlimactic, or was it everything you hoped for?
A little anticlimactic. It took them, weeks to send us that letter.
Payoff letter?
Yeah, but we did do a mortgage burning party, which nobody knows about anymore. And we had a champagne battle in our front yard.
Oh, that's fun.
It was Colin's dream to put on our scuba mask and do this.
This is a great... You got to go watch on YouTube, because this is hilarious.
Oh, this is great.
Who was
neighbors
there?
Is that family gathering around? What is that?
Yeah.
A lot of family, a couple neighbors, and but Julie definitely won the champagne battle. I started off strong, and she just came in and just absolutely blasted me in the face with it.
Well, you're messing with an engineer. I mean, come on. She had this figured out.
I should have known better.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow. So did your family and friends think, you guys are weird, but we're on board? We're happy for you.
Yep. So our parents were huge cheerleaders throughout, and a lot of our friends were kind of scratching their heads, but we knew what we wanted, and more than anything, we wanted to get that done so we could renovate the home and that kind of thing.
Yeah. What are you doing? What's the renovation?
So right now we're in the middle of the master bathroom, and so we just got to tile that up now. And but yeah, we're excited, and we've just found out we're having a baby. We're due in November.
Hey, life is great.
Yeah,
oh man!
So I gotta remodel. I got a November 6th date that I got to get everything done by.
Now we have a new goal.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Got to have a deadline.
Yeah, way to go, you guys. Life is so good. So one of the things we found in the millionaire study that we did, studying 10,000 millionaires, the number one occupation that becomes a millionaire is engineer. And so here we go. You're just, because you're process people and you get it, and real estate agents that are goal-oriented like this, they fall right in there too. So that's non-goal-oriented real estate agents. Now, that's a different story. But, yeah. Well done, you guys. We're proud of you. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Appreciate what you have, your people and your things.
Right.
And also combine your finances, build trust.
Absolutely got to have the same checking account. And everybody's got to be on board. And, transparency, and we've never been ones to keep up with the Joneses, and so that was definitely a helping factor. We don't spend money if we don't have to.
Yeah, good for you. Well done, you guys.
Sharp young couple.
Yeah,
this is inspiring. I'm seeing a trend here, Dave. We're going to see more people in their 20s and early 30s paying off their homes, which means more millionaires earlier.
I think we're stirring up a ruckus, George.
I like this. What if we could make the government irrelevant? That's a goal. I can get behind that.
There we go. I'm with this all the way.
You guys are amazing.
Way to go, you guys. Way to go. Very good. We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story for sure. And also a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away to somebody. Maybe you'll inspire one of your buddies to actually follow in your footsteps. You never know when they see you out in the front yard with scuba masks and champagne. They want to know what's going on. Yeah, so that's good stuff. And also, we're going to send you give you a gift card for Financial Peace University and the Every Dollar Premium and a Ramsey Plus subscription for a year. and all of that tied in. And you can give that to somebody and get them started, or you guys can go through it as well. And good stuff. Very good stuff. And congratulations on the new baby on the way. That's just awesome. Life is good. Very, very cool. Good for you guys. Colin and Julie, Gainesville, Georgia, 29 and 31 years old. They have a $330,000 house that is paid for, $136,000 in debt, paid off in 41 months, making $118 to $138. Hadn't even been married 41 months and been working on it. Excellent. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah!
Wow. Our millionaire study found the average millionaire pays off their home in 11 years. And so these folks right here, above average.
Did it in 41 months, 41 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, here's the thing. If you're out there and you're stumbling on this show for the first time or the sixth time, there's a reason we do this. These are actual, real people. We don't tell them what to say. The matter of fact, they flew or drove to Nashville from Florida to stand on the stage to have that moment, that milestone, and scream in front of 22 million people on podcast, radio, and YouTube, and have a moment there because they wanted to inspire you. They wanted you to know you can do it. And you know what? You can do it. And if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That's what Henry Ford said, and I think he was onto something. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 19:23. The fear of the Lord leads to life, then one rests content, untouched by trouble. Albert Einstein says, whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted in important affairs. No doubt about it. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Paul is with us in Jackson, Mississippi. Hey, Paul, how are you?
Doing all right, man. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I've come into a predicament here that a lot of people don't get the chance to do. Here in about 4 months, I'm going to be receiving a check for about $1.2 million.
Wow! Where'd that come
from? A land deal.
Okay, so you had a piece of land that you sold, and you're gonna net you $1.2 million.
Well, actually, it's sort of like a finder's fee. I found some land, took it to a developer. It was worth a lot of money, and he's going to turn it around. So that's going to be my percentage of the profit.
Wow, very nice. Okay, I hate it when that happens. Good job.
If you find any more, let me know.
Absolutely.
Okay. How can we help?
But yeah, I'm 27.
Mm-hmm.
I have about $50,000 in debt.
Mm-hmm.
And taking in this kind of money, it's great, but it's also kind of scary because I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a lot of wisdom. It's wise to be scared. If you were strutting around acting like you knew what to do and you'd never done it before, that would be the first sign you were going to lose the money. So really good position to take, a healthy kind of fear, not toxic fear, not being anxiety-ridden or something, but just going, this scares me a little bit. Like, this is a really powerful car, and I'm not that great a driver yet.
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
So should I don't own a home right now. I'm renting. Should I take I don't know, 200,000 and put it down on a house, or should I reinvest this money, or and I have a day job as well. All this side income that I have is working from 4:30 to 10 o'clock at night and on Saturdays and Sundays.
Wow,
not a bad side hustle.
Yes, I know. I've always been really driven, and I'm.
So, what do you make a year on your day job?
70,000.
Okay, and you're used to living on that.
Oh, yes.
Okay, all right. Well, you can do a lot of different things, Paul. I'll give you a couple of things that, first let me throw some just basic ideas at you, and then I'll throw some conceptual ideas at you as well, okay? Basic idea is write a check, pay off the debt, okay?
Okay.
You said you had $50,000 in debt, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you write a check and you pay off the debt. That's thing one. Thing two is you need to sit down with a good tax pro and calculate what the taxes are going to be on this, and then just set that aside and pretend like it's not yours, because it's not yours. You're going to get in a pinch if you start screwing around with a portion of this that is taxes. So just set aside an account over there and be ready for next April when it rolls around. And hold on the money as long as you can hold on to it, but just put it in a money market account and pretend like you don't own it anymore. And that's going to be a substantial amount of money.
I figured it would be around 250.
Yeah, I think probably 300. I think it's probably 300. Yeah, but sit down with your tax pro and calculate it exactly and set that aside. Okay? And then that tells you what you got to work with. Okay, so let's call it 300, and then let's call the other 50, and that gets us down to 850. Okay?
Correct.
And what would you, if you were going to buy a home, do you want a house?
Not necessarily. Not in the market that it is right now. I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay $300,000 for a house that's worth $175.
Honey, it's worth $300. It's not worth $175.
Okay.
It's not coming back down.
Okay.
The real estate prices have retreated in the history of the United States never.
Okay.
Long term.
Well, that makes me a little bit more comfortable.
I mean, we had one retreat in the 30s and it came back up. We had another retreat in the 08 and it came back up. And those are the only two times it ever went backwards and it came back up. And so we're not going to see a retreat as a result of this mess we're in right now. But we are going to see a slowing in growth. So, but you're a single 27-year-old guy. You may not want to screw with a house. You may want to get you a nice condo where you don't have to mess with stuff, right? I don't know what your living situation is, but I would go pay cash for a residence.
Okay.
Whatever that is. And so let's call that $300. That still leaves you $550 laying around. What are you driving? What are you driving?
I've got a 2018 F-250.
Okay.
That's where all my debt is.
Okay, I was going to say.
Oh, that's the truck. Okay, so you're paying off the truck, keep the truck. It's a great car. Keep it. Okay, what's your suggestion?
Well, beyond that, I mean, you can always park extra money in a high-yield savings account and use it towards your next goal. So I love the idea of getting a reasonable residence. Let's pay off all the debt. Let's get our emergency fund in place. So set aside maybe, 20, 30K over here for that. And beyond that, look at what your next goals are. Maybe you want to do real estate investing and you want to pay cash for that. Maybe you want to go on some vacations. Maybe you want to set it aside because you don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 years. Maybe you meet someone, you get married. And so I like the idea of parking a lot of this aside once we have our house paid for.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. Here's the thing. If you want to deal with the fear, like sometimes I talk to someone that's inherited $2 million or something, and they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know anything about money. And so, we put them through Financial Peace University immediately, which we're going to do for you. Okay, I'm going to pay for you to go through it because I want you to get the basics on handling money down. And then you kind of build yourself a little board of directors for this $1 million business. And the board of directors is a good insurance agent, a good estate planning attorney that helps you get a will in place, a good tax professional in your corner. It sounds like you already know a lot about real estate, but you may, if you want to put a real estate person in your corner, that's fine. But you put some experts around you that will teach you different things that you need to know to be able to do things that you don't know how to do. For instance, my estate plan is very complicated. There's no possible way I could have invented, with my knowledge base, my estate plan. So I have paid an estate planning lawyer a lot of money to keep my family from having to pay tens of millions of dollars in taxes after I die. Because they tax you twice in the U.S. now. Because if you're rich, you must be evil and you should be punished. So, but that's an example. I don't do my own taxes. And I could probably muddle through, but I probably miss some stuff. I don't pull my own teeth either. So, that's the thing you're dealing with. So, you kind of get some advisors around you so that you've got, and you don't have to pay them anything. They're just there, and you develop a relationship and get maybe meet with one of the SmartVestor pros about investing in mutual funds. You may want to take that $500,000, and you may be a real estate guy that wants to do some deals, and just do them all with cash. And you can't mess them up if you're doing them with cash, because I've never seen a single piece of real estate in my life go to zero. It's not Bitcoin. I mean, it can't go to zero. So, if you wanted to buy a piece of land and you want to fool with it, flip it over. You want to buy a property and flip it, or you want to buy some properties that create income, that's all okay. The good news about Jackson, Mississippi, it is a reasonable real estate market. Much more so than a lot of areas of the country. So a lot of stuff you can do there. You got a lot of options. Congratulations, sir.
That's amazing.
Very proud of you.
I want this to set him up for the future. I mean, he's 27.
Yeah.
And if he manages this money well, he's going to be able to retire early, do whatever he wants to do.
Well, I mean, if you invest $500,000 and you made 10% off, that's $50,000 a year.
That's not bad.
And you got taxes on that and other stuff. And it won't be 10% a year every year, but you can make 10% average.
But he can about replace his income if he invests this.
Get real close. And if you left it alone, it'll double every 7 years. So in 7 years, he's 27. When he's 34, he'd have $1 million. And so when he's 41, he'd have $2 million.
Wow.
And just off of that.
That's incredible.
That's that's something to think about.
Yeah.
But but again, that's investing it in mutual funds, leaving it alone. But if you're going to fool with real estate, you can probably make more than that, but you got more hassle and expertise involved. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.